Tell you, we had some sun around here today, and it was beautiful. I mean, and we had gorgeous views. I don't know that it was quite as spectacular as what we just saw in that NASA video, but how about the time lapse today of Mount Hood out in the sunshine? Did you catch the mountains? St. Helens was out. If you're in the right spot, you could actually see all the way to Rainier. But I think the shots of the day were coming in from the gorge, and thank you to those of you like Douglas who sent in these pictures to news@coin.com. This is how that ice forms in the gorge. A little bit of freezing rain. Ice on the top of a fence. Isn't that an incredible shot? How about this? This is an actual road sign, and you can't even tell by looking at it until you see the yellow on the edges here. And so Douglas caught that shot of a frozen sign. And Delilah catching some of the branches to the east of Washougal, also coated in ice. A beautiful sight, treacherous travel. And now travel's gotten easier tonight through the gorge, but it's going to go back downhill over the weekend. More on that in a minute. Now, temperatures today warmed into the 40s and even 50s in the valley. Incredible how mild it was, but look at this. The Dalles never got above 33. Hood River was in the same boat, so we barely warmed up, and now it's cooling off again tonight in central and eastern parts especially. 30s are the temperatures across the metro area. You see them here, 38 in Gresham and Vancouver, and 39 in Hillsborough right now. PDX is at 37. With some east wind, and we're already back to freezing in Hood River and back below freezing in the Dalles. So, with moisture coming in from the west, that spells more trouble for those of you in the gorge or those of you traveling through the gorge. There's something else, though. What about the east wind? I've had some questions about that. It kind of took a break for a while today. It should be strengthening overnight tonight. Already is in some parts of town. It's 5:30 tomorrow morning. Pretty good gust of east wind coming down the Columbia River into East County, and some of it goes over to the West Hills as well. As we go through the day, it will be breezy at times tomorrow. But notice if you're out in Washington County or to the south, same old story. You get an east breeze, but I wouldn't call it the east wind. That's reserved for Portland and points east. Now, this system is splitting on the way in. That's going to save us some trouble. It could be a lot worse in the gorge than it will be. But still, as some of the light moisture comes in from this, it's a fairly mild system going over the top of that freezing air that's in the gorge. And that sets us up for liquid rain to fall and then into that frozen air turn into ice. There may be an exception, though, in the central gorge. All right, so for the gorge this weekend, this is big. It's important for traveling and everything else. Light freezing rain at times Saturday in the western gorge. Light snow's likely in the central gorge, including I-84 at Hood River. So you may transition, if you're driving this stretch, from the freezing rain to the actual snow. And things may stay slick in the gorge until midday on Sunday. Now, overall amounts will be light, but I think they could potentially be more significant than what we had this time around. So that's going to mean some travel troubles for sure in there. Mostly cloudy tomorrow at the coast. Rain at times in the 50s. We'll have 40s in the valley, and we're safely above any icy issues in the I-5 corridor tomorrow. Central and eastern Oregon, increasing clouds. You'll see some snow and maybe possibly freezing rain overnight into tomorrow night. For the gorge, it's that east wind gusting to 50 miles an hour at the west end again. Look at the highs right around freezing tomorrow, so we may not thaw out at all. I think that stretches into Sunday. And then Government Camp, there'll be a couple inches of fresh snow tomorrow afternoon into evening. The morning's pretty quiet tomorrow. Just some high clouds up there. 32 for a morning low in Portland. 41 for an afternoon high. Mainly afternoon rain. So we've had a chance to warm to our highs as the rain gets going. We'll be in the low 40s out in Washington County. If you're on the east side, probably not out of the 30s in Camas and Gresham. We'll have to watch, the East County areas like we did this morning, just to make sure the east wind doesn't possibly keep you cold enough for any icy spots overnight tomorrow night. But highs in the 40s tomorrow. So just some light rain for most of us in the valley and some east winds in some parts of town. Here's the 7-day forecast. Rain at times on Sunday, and that, again, will mean more trouble in the gorge. And then I think we really warm up on Tuesday. We may hit 50 degrees, or we'll be close. So the weather roller coaster is about to get rolling out of the station again.
Well, to say 50 degrees in January, that's pretty mild.
That is very mild, and that'll also be a breezy one, but not the cold east wind.
All right. Thanks, Bruce.